So if you make that decision, where do you want that language? And it doesn't say more than 70,000. So that's
All rise.
Be seated, thank you. Eric Griffin. Are you here on your own, sir?
Yes, sir.
We're here on 11 CRB 2505, City of Parma versus Eric Griffin, present court defendant. He's without counsel here for the purposes of a motion to expunge and case 11 CRB 1935. Mr. Griffin, let me just ask you this. Have you been arrested or convicted of anything since these events?
No, sir.
The motion to expunge is hereby granted. Have a good day.
Thank you. Oh, one question. Is there a way I could get a letter saying that it's expunged? Because I know it takes up to a year
You'll
to
get a
come
copy
out.
of the journal entry in the mail. If you need it sooner than that, you can get a copy. We're a little busy to do that right now, but you can get a copy maybe in the sign room.
Yes.
Okay.
If you go to the sign room right out there to the right, they'll make you a non-certified copy now,
Okay.
but you'll get a certified copy.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Yeah.
Jessica Pink. We're here on 13 CRB 2176, City of North Brooklyn versus Jessica Pink. She's with John West, her attorney, here for the purposes of an expungement also. Mr. West, has your client been convicted or arrested or anything since these events?
No, Your Honor, she is not.
Motion to expunge is granted. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Ingo Clemmer. You have Mr. Lane here?
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you?
Just fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. We're here on 16 TRC 12275, 16 TRD 12198, 16 CRB 4190, City of Parma Heights versus Ingo Clemmer, present for his defendant. He's with Daniel Lane for the purposes of sentencing. The court has considered the pre-sentence report, which was prepared on my behalf, and the criteria for sentencing pursuant to 29, 21, and 22 of the revised code. Before I impose sentences, is there anything you'd like to say in mitigation?
Yes, Your Honor. We have had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigative report. Everything appears accurate and fair in that document. I would like to remind the court that this is my client's only offense of any kind in his entire history. He's got a good, responsible job. He underwent an extraordinarily stressful time in his life, and he made a tremendously bad decision on letting this happen. He's long-term employed. He's done an IOP. He's working well through the aftercare program. He's continuing that. In the interim, since this case, he had knee surgery, and he's doing the therapy on that, and that's going well. We'd asked the court to allow him to do the jail alternate program so that he continued to work on his sobriety with his professional team and work on his physical therapy. The insurance company has paid all the damages for the car that was hit, and we asked the court to consider all those factors in imposing sentence. I believe he does have money for fines and costs to live.
All right, thank you. Are you asking for driving privilege?
I believe that he had privileges up until now. His 90 days is up.
Yeah.
And I believe his 6 months ends up
Okay.
in a couple of weeks. So we'd ask him to be extended through the balance of any suspension period the court may impose.
Got it. Okay, on the reasonable control, the $75 fine. On the failure to comply, 90 days jail, 90 days suspended, no credit for time served. $350 fine, he pays the court cost. Place you on probation for 24 months, 12 months of it are reporting probation. Your probation is subject to violation if convicted of any criminal offense which occurs during the probationary period. On the OBI, 180 days in jail, 175 suspended. Did you do any jail time on this offense yet?
No,
You didn't spend the night?
I spent one night, yes.
Okay. 1 day credit for time served. $750 fine, I'll suspend $100 of the fine. Place you on probation for 24 months, 12 months of it are reporting probation. Your license is suspended for 180 days commencing on October 10th of 2016. I will grant you limited driving privileges effective today to drive to from the course of employment, probation, medical treatment, and AA meetings. You shall complete a drug and alcohol assessment, follow all treatment recommendations. That's already been done, and I received proof of that. You have shown proof that you successfully completed the OQ treatment program, correct? Okay. Your probation is subject to violation if you're convicted of any criminal offense which occurs during the probationary period. Do you understand the terms of your sentence?
Yes.
And you can pay your fines and costs today?
Yes, sir.
They'll call your name at the payment window, they'll route you from there.
Your Honor, can he do the 3-day jail alternate program, or did you want him to do the time? I guess I wasn't clear on it.
Yeah, I'll allow 3 of it to be in the
Okay.
program
One in jail.
by May 1st.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay. Patrick Marshall. We're here on 16 CRB 5317, City of Parma versus Patrick Marshall, President Court of who's with Governor TK's attorney here for the purpose of sentencing on a single count of domestic violence. The court has considered the criteria for sentencing. Is there anything you'd like to say in mitigation?
Your Honor, just that my client has a very good relationship with the mother of his child. They've been together for a long time, but he has a very bad relationship with alcohol, which has been his problem. Since the day of this incident, he's abstained. He had a substance abuse evaluation, and he has followed through the recommendation, and he's religiously attended AA meetings. Your Honor, he's very close to his family, and they have forgiven him graciously, and he intends to make amends the best way he can.
Thank you. How many AA meetings a week are you going to?
2,
For how long have you been doing that?
3 weeks now. I've been going to 1 week before that.
This happened a few months ago. Why did it start AA just a couple weeks ago?
I don't know.
Is it for show, for sentencing, or are you really seeking
No,
treatment?
I'm really going.
30 days jail, 29 days suspended. Have you done any jail time on this offense yet?
Yeah. 1 day.
Pardon me?
1 day.
1 day, 1 day credit for time served. $250 fine, none of that is suspended. Place you on probation for 18 months, 10 months of it are reporting probation. Your probation is subject to violation if you're convicted of any criminal offense which occurs during the probationary period. As a condition of your probation, you shall attend 2 AA meetings per week for the next 3 months. You shall complete a anger management program and an outpatient alcohol treatment program. So probation is going to set you up with an outpatient alcohol treatment program. There's no question of the root of this problem is that it's alcohol. We're going to get to that. Do you understand the terms of your sentence?
Yes.
Okay. Can you pay your fines and costs today?
Yes.
They'll call your name, payment window, they'll route you to probation from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's do Okay. Donna Chidsey? All right, you can stay there. That works for you? All right, we're here on case 16 CRB 4152 and 16 TRD 12380, City of Parma Heights versus Donna Chidsey. Tom Kelly's here on behalf of the City of Parma Heights. Larry Zuckerman and Mr. Lear are here on behalf of Ms. Chidsey. We're here for the purposes of sentencing. I have been informed that family members want to speak, which I am absolutely going to allow. Mr. Zuckerman, who's going to be doing the talking here, you or Mr. Lear?
Both of us are going to do smoke on Ryan.
Okay. I think what would work best for you and everybody is that we proceed with the, go ahead. I'm sorry, I was supposed to give you guys a minute to set. Does anyone else need that? Okay. I think what will work best is if we let the families speak first, and then I'll allow you to speak your mitigation next.
Thank you, Aaron.
Okay. All right. Is Mr. Sharpsman, Mr. Kelly, do you have any kind of order? Or?
No, Your Honor. There has been some discussion in terms of who wishes to speak and who doesn't. So what I will try to do, with the court's permission, would be to limit it to one or two representatives from each of the families.
I think that would be best.
Thank you.
Who would you like to?
Sure.
Of course. Ron, do you want to?
Make sure that you state your name as well for the judge. Okay?
Good morning. How are you?
I wish I could say better, but
I understand.
my name is
Just
Robert.
relax. First thing, relax. Just relax. Speak your heart. Go ahead.
My name is Robert McDonald. I am the son of Kathleen Kathy McDonald, one of the victims that has passed. The offender has killed someone in the past and has now killed two more people, one of them being my mother. And she has injured several other people during this case. She should be held accountable for the injuries and failure to control a car for this episode. The offender should receive the maximum sentence. The loss of my mother has dramatically changed and altered my life. I have been part of an extended family for all of my life. We had celebrated all holidays, birthdays, vacations, and special events together. I was very close with my mother, and the loss of her has been very traumatic. She can never be replaced. I was there when it happened, and it was horrible. We do not want the offender to ever be able to drive again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Do you want to say something also? Or
Kathleen McDonald was my sister for 59 years. We spent holidays, vacation, lived together, and my life has dramatically changed. And we feel that Donna, since she had killed somebody way in the past, a long time ago, and two people recently, she should receive maximum sentence and never be allowed to drive permanently, have her driver's license revoked.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let's start with who you are.
My name is Olga Kemper, and I am Nancy Galis' daughter.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just want to let you know that I'm hurting very, very badly. My mom, I had unconditional love from my mom. She was the most loving, generous, kind woman that I've ever met in my life. And every day I cry for her. I wish she was still here so she can see her grandchildren grow. I would really appreciate if Donna would lose her driver's license permanently, and I want maximum sentencing for her. My life has completely changed. My life will never be the same without my mom. I had unconditional love for my mother. I had to watch her suffer for 5 weeks, and I had to watch her die. And that will stay with me in my heart forever until I see her again up in heaven. I'm really sorry, sir, but my life will never be the same.
No need for you to apologize. Okay, does anybody else there want to say something? Jeannie, Mighty Mo, come on.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Courtney Giles. I'm Nancy Giles' youngest granddaughter.
I'm sorry, pardon me?
My name is Courtney Giles, her youngest granddaughter.
All right.
My family and I are devastated upon the situation. I've always imagined other family members of mine passing, however, I never thought my grandma would pass. Healthiest woman I've ever met, had years and years to live. That night of August 21st, when I received 20 phone calls, missed calls, I was told Grandma's been hurt. I couldn't even drive to the hospital because I just couldn't believe she was hurt. I didn't know what happened. Sped to the hospital, and the way I saw her was just heartbreaking. It was awful. It was an up and down emotional roller coaster. We didn't know if she was going to live. We thought she was going to die that night. 5 weeks passed. She's still living. She passed away, and she can just never be replaced. And I knew that my life would be changed forever. My grandma had a heart of gold. Her voice and contagious laughter will always lift my spirits. There's not a day that goes by that she's not on my mind. I had nightmares and flashbacks about the whole situation, including the 5 weeks my sweet grandma suffered. Every time I back out of a parking spot, I simply wonder how, why, how do you press the gas instead of the brake? How does one simply do that? My grandma Nancy was the anchor that kept my family grounded, and we really miss her a lot, and I'm really upset with Donna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Understand. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. My name is Brittany Giles. I am the oldest granddaughter of Nancy Giles. My whole life, I've let a lot of people down. One of those people was my grandma. My grandma always wanted what was best for me and my sister. I always thought she was just judging me. I always thought she just talked down upon me and my decisions. And at the time, I never quite understood her. And now that she's gone, there hasn't been a moment in my life where I understood her like I do now. She meant no harm to me or to anyone. She just wanted what was best for me. I no longer have that voice to listen to anymore. I thought I had my whole life to make her proud, and now that she's gone, I feel like I no longer have anything to prove. My grandma was the one who brought her family together. Every holiday, we'd be around her table, and every holiday goes by, and a part of our family is just missing, and it's never going to be the same. My grandma was the saint. I never deserved anything to happen to her at all. I committed a lot of sins in my life, and every day that goes by, I think, why didn't God take my life over hers? She didn't deserve it at all, and every day that goes by, I see a penny on the ground or a penny on the table, and I think that's my grandma's penny. My grandma picked up every single penny off the ground. She was that type of grandma. That type of grandma. Oh, it's my lucky day. I found a penny. And now, she's not here. I just wish she was here, and I just hope correct measures are taken in this circumstance. I don't know, to stop me if I cross the line. I don't know why she was even on the road from the beginning. She's had a previous experience that should have been shut down the last time, and then my grandma would still be here. I understand everyone makes mistakes, but that's a mistake that can't be I'll never be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you. Whether you were anything else?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe this is the last individual.
Okay.
Mr. DeGardine, Your Honor, his daughter.
Your name, sir?
Brian DeGardine. I'm the brother. I know this isn't related to this case. In 1974, my sister was killed. She was on a field trip with Donna Chidsey and was lost control of the car. The car had flipped and my sister was killed instantly. I had a lot of reservations about coming here, but I didn't want the memory of my sister to be forgotten as well. My father's here. He's 80 years old. My sister, Jean and Joan DeGardine, are here. And the purpose was to remind the court that we can't forget our loved ones who have died or been victims at the cost of Donna Chidsey vehicle, use of a vehicle. 3 people have already been killed. Again, I am not here for any kind of revenge. We forgave Donna in 1974. It was a horrible accident.
Okay.
Thank you,
I
Your
understand,
Honor.
and I appreciate it. Thank you. And I have considered it. Thank you.
Your Honor, I don't believe, Your Honor, I don't believe I could speak any more eloquently than the members of the families who lost their loved ones. I would just ask that the court take that into consideration. I recognize there are limitations in terms of this charge, in terms of the sentence that the court can impose, but specifically as to the driver's license issue, I'd ask the court to take the maximum allowable punishment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Mr. Zuckerman or Mr. Lair?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, first of all, on behalf of myself and Donna Chidsey, I would like to express my most heartfelt condolences to all those that have lost someone and all those that are suffering from this. Your Honor, I am struck by, throughout this process of representing Donna Chidsey, how profoundly remorseful she is for what occurred. But I would indicate again that this was an accident. It was a horrible, horrible accident, but nonetheless it was an accident. Certainly there was no intent to cause anyone any harm, and Donna is living with this remorse, and she's going to live with this remorse for the rest of her life. I would ask the court to take into consideration Donna is 74 years old. She taught in the Parma city schools for approximately 30 years. She's a retired school teacher. We've prepared and filed, Your Honor, a sentencing memorandum. I would just incorporate that into my comments today. There are some letters there from some of her colleagues that evidence the fact that Donna not only was a school teacher and obviously had devoted her professional life to helping educate others, but she also dedicated her time with the Greenbrier Theater. So that, again, I think should be taken into consideration. She's lived her life.
I read your brief and the letters, everything you called.
Thank you. Again, she has lived her life trying to educate others and help others, and she's just profoundly remorseful for the pain and suffering that this accident has caused. And I would ask the court to take that into consideration.
All right, thank you. Mr. Zuckerman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think at this time, Ms. Chidsey would like to invoke a word of allocution.
Go ahead.
There's just no words to express how sorry I am about the pain and the suffering and the loss that this horrible accident has caused these people. I hope that these dear people could forgive me, and that Your Honor would show me mercy. I'm really, really sorry for the accident.
Thank you, Your Honor. Respectfully requesting that the court consider the principles of sentencing, and especially with misdemeanor sentencing, look to see if
there's a serious risk that there's a significant risk that she will commit serious offenses in the future. With all the principles of sentencing, Your Honor, the revised code, I respectfully contend that Ms. Chidsey is not likely to reoffend in this matter. And looking at the more serious and less serious factors, I believe the less serious apply, Your Honor. We would respectfully ask the court to take that into consideration when passing judgment. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, it is, there's no one in this courtroom that doesn't feel the emotion that's taking place right now and have a heartfelt sorrow for what's taking place to the victims, the families of the victims, to everybody involved. Sadly, this is not the first tragedy of this magnitude that I've dealt with here. Actually, I've been doing this for 30 years now, and for 30 years I've dealt with similar tragedies, and they don't get easier as time goes on. It's absolutely a horrible thing. The families have requested maximum jail time, and I don't believe they're going to be satisfied with my sentence here today, because I don't believe that any amount of jail time is going to fix anything, bring back anybody, heal anybody's heart, or do anything else. That said, my sentence is as follows. On the reasonable control, $150 fine. On the vehicular homicide, 180 days in jail, 180 days suspended, no credit for time served, $1,000 fine, none of it is suspended. I'll place you on probation for 36 months. 6 months of it are reporting probation. Probation subject to violation if you're convicted of any criminal offense which occurs during the probationary period. The court hereby imposes a Class 4 license suspension pursuant to RC Section 2923.06 for a period of 5 years. That's the maximum license suspension that I'm allowed to do by law. I know you all seek a lifetime suspension. I don't disagree with your thoughts and feelings on that. I am sworn to follow the law, and a 5-year license suspension is the maximum suspension pursuant to 4507.10c. I'm in order that the defendant must complete a remedial driving course as a condition of regaining driving privileges. The court further hereby notifies the Bureau of Motor Vehicles that good cause exists to believe that the defendant is incompetent or otherwise not qualified to be licensed without first submitting to the driver's license examination, physical examination, or both. Do you understand the terms of your sentence?
Yes, sir, I do.
As I stated at the outset, I understand and have the utmost compassion for everything that was said by the victims of these families. But my job here is to protect the public from future crime and to punish the crime that took place. This was not an intentional act. This was a horrific, terrible accident. Just terrible. There was no intent formed, no ill will. It is a horrible, horrible thing. There are not words to describe my remorse and for everything that took place. But sitting in jail isn't going to satisfy any of those things. Protection of the public or punishment. And I don't believe that punishment is in order for an accidental act. I am sorry for the family's loss, truly. And the best I can do is take your license and protect the public by taking the license. I can assure you, if you were to drive, I will revoke your probation and you will serve the maximum amount of jail time. I've done everything I can to keep you from getting back on the road. But I just don't see just punishment must be tempered with justice. And this is the best I can do. Do you understand the terms of your sentence?
Yes, sir.
Can you pay your fines and costs today?
Yes, sir.
From here, you'll go down to the payment window and they'll route you from there. Thank you, and thank everyone involved.
reaction has got to be shock at this point.
My mom meant everything to me. She was a very, very loving person. She was very active, church-going. She did everything for us, for me and my brother, for our grandchildren. She will never be forgotten. She'll always be a part of me, and she'll always stay in my heart.
Did you understand the judge saying that jail wasn't a sentence because this was truly an accident in his eyes? How does that make the family feel?
We're just devastated. There's nothing that we can do.
Would you have liked to see her go to jail? Or do you understand the point of view that...
If my mom was here, my mom, she was just a very, very, very loving person. And I really don't think that she would want her to go to jail because of her age. So I feel that what had happened today was probably meant from God. And I just have to go on with my life and do the best that I can. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dave.
They're not letting her talk.
Bring him over. Yeah. If you like to tell Kelly this, okay. All right. Now we'll get those problems done.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We strive to do, and I strive to do, is to protect the public from future danger from the defendant and to punish the behavior. Well, this wasn't bad behavior. This was not intentional behavior. This was accidental. This was a horrific accident. So the best way to protect the public at this point is to take her license, to remove her from the streets, to take her off the streets. I've done that for as long as the law will allow me to do. Her sitting in jail is not going to protect the public not 1 ounce more. It's just not going to do anything else.
Understandably so. What do you know about the past case they brought up today? Are you ready to talk about that?
I have a police report. I have limited information. I'm sure there's people that will know more than me. I read a police report from provided by the Parma Police Department. It was in the 70s. Apparently, they were going to charge her when the young lady was killed, and she was severely injured also. Ms. Chidsey broke her back and a lot of stitches and was hospitalized for months out of state. But she was not charged criminally because the car she was driving had a recall on the steering wheel. There was some type of defect in the steering wheel. So again, I'm not here to defend her, but I'm also not using that against her and considering what happened in this instance.
So it sounds like she was driving a field trip around and a girl in the car, one of the students was killed?
Correct. The car lost control on a highway. The young female student with her was killed immediately, I believe, and Ms. Chidsey was severely injured. But that, again, that was in the 70s, and there were extenuating circumstances there. And something I did, I feel remiss in that is I did not acknowledge the work that the Parma Police Department did, all the first responders. I mean, when you read this police report, you talk about being brought to tears. They had to respond, and they do it on a daily basis. They had to respond and care for all these people, and they did it in such a professional fashion. And I meant to commend them for their work, but it's a pretty emotional day for everybody involved.
Well, you just did. If it helps, you did it on campus here. Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I'd answer any questions, but I speak from the heart. I always do. and I did when I did my allocation of sentence.
If you can't answer this, I apologize. Are you frustrated with the inability to, with the restriction on the driver's license suspension?
Yeah, I don't know if frustrated is the correct term of my inability to suspend her license for longer than 5 years, but I will say that if I had the option of a lifetime suspension, I would have employed it. So, yes, there is a degree of frustration. Had I had more options, I would have employed them.
Yeah, as far as decisions go, you've been on the bench more than 30 years.
On the bench, 24, a prosecutor for 6, assistant county prosecutor for 6, and I handled some of these cases as a prosecutor.
How tough of a sentence was this for you to sit down and go over? Was this
as tough as they get? You see the grandchildren up there, the sister. There, you see just the human suffering and tragedy, and it takes everything to compose myself also, and to do what I'm supposed to do. It's not easy.
We spoke with the family outside, and they said that the victim who passed wouldn't have wanted her to go to jail. And
Glad to hear that.
So they kind of feel that as well. So
that makes me feel good. I'm glad to hear that. And I understand their position. I believe me. I don't fault them. I don't blame them. I understand their position and what they're seeking, and they are trying to care for their lost loved one. And I get it, and I understand it. And maybe if I wasn't wearing a robe, I'd have the same thing to say. But what I do is justice, and it's got to be tempered.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Here, if we get you. Yeah.